What's up, guys? So today we're taking a second look at the Camelbak Motherlode old gen. Now, a couple of years back, I think it was, that I purchased this. I attached on the sides some Eagle Industries canteen covers like this one right here, but they were in tan. And I had another pouch down here which fit perfectly centered because we're looking at an odd number of PALS webbing, slots of PALS webbing. And the thing is, though, and then I had another third canteen here, so it was 3 canteens externally. I used it for one hike, but ultimately I never used it anymore after that. And it's a bit of a waste, I thought to myself. I did like the design, but normally I like to run a minimum of 4 canteens externally on my packs for my day hikes. So seeing as I had to retire the Surfanic backpack, which I made a review and then a long-term review on, and it was really on its last life. Thing is, though, it served its purpose because I needed a cheap pack in case it were to get stolen. I would be fuming if it was this one. But now I guess I have all the reasons in the world to really use this and as my EDC, because I'm looking at EDC options, and ultimately I want a black pack. Because, it's the whole gray man thing, blacks, it's a city slicking color. Can't go wrong with that. I didn't want anything camouflaged or even anything tactical, like in some tactical color. I just wanted straight black. And the thing is, I decided, initially I went with that's another Eagle Industries canteen pouch, and I wanted to put it up here because on my Surfanic pack, I had the beaver tail, and that's where my umbrella lived, at the back of the pack here. So initially I had that up here, and but I didn't like it. It was too heavy, and just pulling back every time I opened this compartment, the whole thing would just flop down. I didn't really like that, so I figured I'd just leave this panel alone and put the umbrella on the side here, just because it's quite a heavy object. At least, it was here. Whereas there, it just, it doesn't really, you just don't feel it, really. And it just looks a little bit better, on the side, as opposed to having something where someone could potentially even just pull you, from that, and then, lose your balance or whatever. But then on the side, I've got basically utility / canteen pouch by Blackhawk. And I figured that was that. Initially, I was going to go with 2 Blackhawk utility pouches on the sides just for the sake of symmetry. But as I mentioned, I didn't like the umbrella back here, so I decided to scrap one of the utility pouches, utility / canteen pouches, simply because I'm not going to be running canteens on this anyway. Maybe one, tops, maybe, depending on the case, depending on where I need to go. But other than that, oh right, I forgot to mention, down here I just added another horizontal utility pouch. I don't particularly like this solution, simply because, as I mentioned, we're looking at 9x2 slots of PALS webbing, whereas this takes up 6, so it's not perfectly centered. Just a nitpicky thing of mine. That's why I still preferred the tan one by Fly Industries, which took up 7 out of the 9, so it was just nicely centered like that. But ultimately that was in tan, whereas this is black, and it just, blends with the, sorry if it's going out of focus, blends with the pack a lot better like that. Although it's one of those things where I just slapped it on there. I may take it off eventually. The only thing that I can figure myself using this for is for the pack cover. Just stow it away in there. And that's about it, guys. Just a quick episode, taking another look at this pack. But I guess that's the beauty of MOLLE compatible gear. it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't necessarily have to be symmetrical. At least, concerning the two different pouches, they can just, you know, you can just choose the pouches based on your needs. In that case, for example, I don't need canteens or anything, but I need the canteen cover because, as I mentioned, it'll fit my umbrella really nicely, and that's how I made use of that. Other than that, it's just the same pack we took a look at earlier. Nothing has changed really, other than the fact that now I'm going to get to use it a lot more. However, this cost me, in its current configuration, far more than the Surfanic pack. Just the pack alone cost me $42 shipped, and that was still a deal, because I think I paid $35 for this, plus $7 in shipping. Yeah, I think it was. So then the Blackhawk pouch, I paid €10 shipped, really good value for money. This was €10 shipped, good value for money. That was €20 shipped. It was okay. Especially because of the condition. As you can see, it's not perfect. Plus, it's been sprayed. Both pouches, even the Blackhawk one, has been lightly dusted with something or other. So it's not perfect, but it'll do. It'll definitely do. And that's about it, guys. Without making this any longer, thanks for taking a look at me, with me at this pack, and just reassessing its design based on its function. As I mentioned, I need an EDC pack, and this fits the bill really nicely. I really like this design, so I finally get to use it and make use of it like so, because before that, as I mentioned, I wasn't really using this pack at all in the kind of hiking configuration with all the canteens, canteen carriers and such. But yeah, enough is enough. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got something out of this episode, as per usual, and I will see you on the next one.